Alright, so to practice for our figure project, we are going to make watercolor cards for a teacher that you're grateful to. First, you're going to use watercolor, like these, and then you're going to write a letter to a teacher and write it on top. So we're not going to make a really, really dark card so that you'll be able to see the pen on top of it. I have some examples of watercolor skies that I'm going to use to do my painting. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a watercolor paper. You're going to need a set of watercolors right here. You're going to want some paper towels to rinse your brush and then wipe it on the paper towel. And you need a cup of water and a few brushes. So we've never used watercolor before, so I would recommend turning over your watercolor paper to practice a little bit. One side of the watercolor paper is more textured than the other side. This is the final draft side with more texture. The side with less texture you can practice on. So I'm going to grab a little bit of red and maybe a little bit of purple mixed together. Oh, that turned really dark. So I'm going to use more red over here. Mix that in. That's nice purple now. And I'm going to use two similar colors. So I'm just going to use red, purple, and maybe a little bit of yellow to get this beautiful sunset. All right, and so I'm just practicing on the back a little bit. With watercolor, you can always make it darker, but once you put color down, you can't get any lighter. So I always try to start light, and then I know I can go darker if I want to. All right. Once you've practiced a little bit with the watercolor, we're going to turn it over to the other side. I'm just going to wipe up some of the damp that I have. And so this is my final draft side, so I want it to be really finished. I'm going to turn it this way because that's the same direction as my sky is facing. So I'm going to start with a light color first, and I think I'm just going to put all the yellow that's in the sky. You can add a little water and blend to lighter. And there's some bursts of yellow in the sky. Okay. Now I already made some magenta kind of color, so I'm going to use that next. Magenta is red and purple together. So this is my magenta. And I'm going to add some water. I'm going to water it down so it's not so dark at first. And I just rinse my brush and wipe it on the paper towel so I can blend it with the yellow. I'm gonna add a little bit of purplish blue in the top of the clouds. And quickly, before it dries, blend it in. Now around this cloud, there's some very dark clouds in the background, so I'm going to add a line there. And again, quickly blend it. And I just splattered a little bit, and I'm going to leave it because I can improvise. Now at the bottom of my painting, there's like a dark field. So I'm going to add that in with the red. Oh, and I just made my red really muddy. So if you do this to your paint, what you can do to fix it is just get out some water in there and then seep it up with your paper towel so that the next person doesn't have a muddy red. Okay. Now I feel like this is too purple still, so I'm going to get some more pure red and get some red in there. That's better. So the bottom of my painting is like a dark field of purple. All right, let's see. So I'm trying to make it look like a sky. This one's obviously very professional. I think I'm just gonna add a little more value and then I'm gonna write my letter. So I'm leaving a little bit of white here. That represents the light in this coming through the clouds. All right, so I'm not going to spend a crazy amount of time on this. I just want you to practice with watercolor. All right, so while this is drying, I'm gonna write my letter. So what you're gonna write is, Dear Mr. or Miss, and I decided I wanna write a letter to Mr. Nick, because he's always helping. Dear Mr. Nick, I'm grateful to you for always helping me with getting ready for portfolios. Because Mr. Nick is our team leader and he helps me a lot with preparing for portfolios. Thank you for helping me and all the teachers. And then you'll write sincerely your name. Okay, so now I have my letter. This is almost dry. I'm gonna write in pencil first so I get the spelling right, because we know once you start drawing, you forget about the spelling. So I'm gonna write, Dear Mr. Nick, I am grateful to you Oh, so I messed up. So that's why I pencil first, right? All right, last step. Go over your letter with a pen. We don't need to be super, super, super embellished text like we did here. You don't need to worry about that, okay? Just make a nice, clear letter. And then at the end, you can erase all your pencil, and they will never know that you started with pencil. Okay? Once you finish in pen, then you can give it to your teacher, and they will love it.